With that, let's get up to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. There to call all the action, we welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, the rain is falling, the fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Carolina Panthers and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They returned home after playing in London last week, but it was a good trip as they came home a winner.
And that's a long flight when you lose, but not half as bad when you come home with a victory and full of bangers and mash.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So now the Ravens getting ready for their first go on offense. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
You know how many times it took him to do that? He took short money like 3 times, man. He took short money like 3 times. But if you're taking short money against 4, and let's just say your career high payday, I mean, it's not short money. All right, so then this is going to be Javonte Davis' career high payday because he ain't never seen $7 million for 1 fight. So it's not short money. You over here preaching 50-50 for him, though. But yeah, nigga, Javonte was one of 2 different levels. Exactly.
Receptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. Able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35. The rushing numbers last week for Cohen, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. In on the tackle there, Luke Kuechly. Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. He'll get this to Eckler. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Austin Eckler, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who is a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive, 4 plays, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here now are the Panthers for their first drive of the game. At a glance here at their quarterback, standing 6'3".
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Here's McCaffrey, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. On 3rd down, Dobbs, nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And coming up on their 2nd drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice. It all came together, but I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point. What's the old expression?
Hey, Calvin.
Good morning, Harry. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. Yeah, Clovis Sonoma, we have a tech project out with them in Redmond. What's going on with them?
Oh, so on Friday, Matt Woolbaum reached out to me, said that you sent him over a lead from that company.
Yep.
And he sent it over to me because I had a lead from them also.
You can take it. Once you close it, just send it back to me.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good then.
Yeah, good luck.
So how long have you been working with them?
A year. And so, I know you guys are trying to get numbers up on the board. They had like 2 different projects out. They were trying to make a rice bar using, I can't even remember the ingredients. I want to say like, what did Redmond recommend? I want to say it's a stevia or something. I got to look it up. And then, trials take a while. So they got all this stuff. It's probably been like 6 or 7 months. We just didn't hear anything. And so if the trials went good, they're ready to order. It's the easy one. And it is what it is. My numbers are okay right now. So take the easy win and send it back to me, and then I put them in the bucket.
All right. Yeah, sounds good.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Calvin.
All right.
Yards in a cloud of dust. In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
They'll run for the first time with Austin Eckler. And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On 3rd down, a run with Cohen. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. That is caught by Cohen. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Tariq Cohen hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as the Ravens push further out in front. Two excellent drives for them to start this game, both ending with touchdown passes.
Yeah, they're off and running, even though they finish things off through the air. Gotta like what you're seeing from them so far. Being able to maneuver offense, take care of the football, and then ring that bell at the end with, as you said, 2 touchdown passes.
Come on, fellas.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A big play there for the Panthers. 56 yards. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well, because you know he's coached very hard.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. A call in luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill, or the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
First and second down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. Dobbs. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. After one, a 14-3 ball game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Tariq Cohen and the rest of the offense heading back out there. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning. And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Check right 54, light 54.
3rd and 2. Here's Jackson. Open man here, Neil Sterling, the tight end. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Jackson. Got a man. It's Brown. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. To throw again is Jackson. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. It'll be a pickup of 4. Good enough to earn him yet another first down. Jackson and the offense come up 1st and 10. And he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far. First down, a run with Cohen. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Hollywood, Marquise Brown. His 3rd touchdown now on the year as the Ravens push further out in front.
The defense is doing their best, but they're struggling right now. They'll look for some help from their own offense to keep them in the game.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12. On first down, this is McCaffrey. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
From the gun on 3rd down. Dobbs, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Matt Judon make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Tariq Cohen and the rest of the offense heading back out there. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. It's a gain of a yard, and it takes us to the 2-minute warning. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
All right, we get get slap happy up here sometimes. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
On first down, they go right back to Cohen. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard.
Hey, here we go. Watch the pass. Watch. Wait. He's crashing. He's checking crash.
Now it's Jackson. Steps away to his left. He's going to take off with it. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. A gain there of 30 big ones.
Certainly making his presence felt in both the pass and the run game. He's having an impact.
Yeah, his first carry of the game right there. He had hurt him with his arm. Now he's showing that he can shuffle the puppies as well. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10.
Let's go.
And now Jackson will look to throw it, eluding the pressure right. That's complete to Sterling. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as he'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. This is Cohen, and this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. On 2nd and goal, they'll give it to him again. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 3rd and goal.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Jackson fakes the give and keeps it, and he completes it to Cohen. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Tariq Cohen with touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year, as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker with the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told, and it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still...
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, 77 yards. And the Panthers, they're able to draw a bit closer.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. Hauschka adds the extra point, and the lead is down to 28-10. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Tariq Cohen and the rest of the offense heading back out there. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
Jackson and the offense come up 1st and 10, and he's now 10 of 10 throwing the ball here to start the game. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown in the final seconds of the first half as the Ravens push further out in front.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook, but even before. For that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Oh, how about this? No good. Just his second miss of the year, and our score will stay right where it is. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30.
Here we go.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And fights through one man. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up fourth down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Ravens to take over on offense. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They begin the drive on the ground with Cohen. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive.
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4.
Jackson from the shotgun. Flushed out right. And now he's going to use his legs. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain.
Here we go, D. All day, defense.
To throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. And his throw here's incomplete. James Bradbury, he was right there to break it up. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
On 3rd down, here's Eckler. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. That's good for a Raven 1st down, 15 yards there. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
That throw into the arms of Allen, and he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That's good for a Raven 1st down, 15 yards there. They'll run on 1st down. Cohen, and give him about 3 as he gets it down to the 22-yard line.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They try again with Cohen. He'll have a 1st down inside the 10.
Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
To throw is Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The sack by Jordan Willis.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. And he's going to go down again.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
Now Justin Tucker. He has hit from 61 in his career, so he has the leg for this. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, this is a guy who is already among an elite group of kickers that have hit from 60-plus in an NFL game, but that's a tough ask to try and get him to produce another one here.
You're exactly right. It's elite group for a reason, isn't it? No small feat for him to hit it from that distance. This one doesn't go through. I always marvel at those guys because it's the same approach every time, the same smoothness when they swing their leg. Doesn't look like they're putting anything extra even when they're kicking it for 60-plus.
Now a run with McCaffrey. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. They get 8 yards back there, and they could use another one of those now on 3rd and 7. From the gun on 3rd down. Dobbs under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Aaron Lynch has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
James Bradbury there to make the tackle. Again, it's Cohen. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Jackson on first down. Allen's got it complete. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Exit. Hey, check 13.
They'll run on 2nd down with Cohen. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape. When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
Forced out to his left. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 23 yards on the play. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. He's going to look deep down the field. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Flush to his right. He's going to take off with it. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've been excellent, 6 for 7. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, Jackson. And an alley to run. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Cohen. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Austin Eckler. They'll keep it on the ground. Cohen. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Now it appears we've got an injured Raven down there on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Going on the ground with Eckler. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe. They're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately,
So now we're in the final minute of the game in the fourth quarter as this offense gets ready to take over. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. And what are the whistles for? Timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Tight it to 6. Pull it. High. Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4. I'm going to run you over. I'm going to run you over.
And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2.
Right there, 54, right there, 54, Mike. Zoom, zoom. Watch the twist, watch the twist. Switch, switch, switch.
Jackson going deep here for Allen. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Ravens, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week